Hello, and welcome to our Wraith 2nd Edition miniseries, Lights in Boarded Windows. As a warning, this is a mature game which explores some dark and troubling themes. These may include supernatural and body horror, psychological abuse, including gaslighting, loss of agency, there's going to be a lot of that, gore and violence, and many others. This table has discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. The players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using a yellow and red card system in our Zoom chat. If you, as a viewer, feel uncomfortable, please pause and step away. Our streams are always going to be available on YouTube after the game, so you can always come back to an episode if you feel ready. And now we're going to introduce this story's cast, starting with our special guest, Brennan.
Me? A special guest?
Indeed.
I mean, Steve has to be nice to me.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Hi, I'm Brennan. You'll find out who I'm playing. I don't want to say it yet, right?
You can if you want. It's
okay. I'm Ezekiel. I'm like in charge or something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Next up, Sam.
Hi everyone, I'm Samantha McLarty, and I am going to be playing DM.
And Steve.
That's this guy. I am Steve. I am in the player seat today, and I will be playing Jason DeHay. Did I say that right, Abby?
Deshay, but you know, it's the thought that matters.
I was close.
You were so close. It's French. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Next up, Zach.
Hi, I'm Zachary Vaudo, and I'm playing Shane Corvus.
And Abby.
Well, howdy there. I am now Reverend Abigail Yazzie, and today I will be taking on the role of Carolina, or Carly, Deshay.
And I am Patrick Gill, and I will be your storyteller tonight. And now we're going to thank this game's sponsors, starting with Orc Style. Orc.style is an adults-only fantasy fetish fashion brand for all of you orc-loving monster huggers out there.
I was hoping that's what it was, honestly.
I didn't realize.
I was going to make a dirty joke, but I didn't need to.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, I had to practice this copy. Orc.style shirts, underwear, and accessories are sure to drop your intelligence and increase your confidence by 10 points. They have also just released their Chompers Orc Tusks. Chompers are perfect for cosplay, roleplay, and streaming. Orc.style's expert tusk enchanters infuse the spirits of great orcs, trolls, ogres, and goblins into magical tusks that will transform the common human into a fierce monster. There are 5 Chompers models, each featuring a different size and style of tusk to better suit your orc sonas. The tusk base is the same on all models, so you are free to go as huge or as small, and that's SMOL, as you want. They can be fitted and adjusted as many times as you need, so they will stay comfortable and through longer wear. Visit the friendly orcs at orc.style and take an orc or 2 home to unleash the monster inside. Next up, Martlet Games. Martlet Games is a collective of ttrpg veterans ready to work for you, from tabletop RPG development to actual play production. They have contributed to various storyteller vault titles and sponsored channels like us to keep the world of darkness a haven for those with stories to tell. Visit their link in the chat to explore their world. They can help you create yours. And finally, Adventure Dice. Roll for Adventure. Adventure Dice is your Canadian source for dice, role-playing game accessories, and other tabletop gaming goodies. Many of the items on our site are handcrafted in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. We are a husband and wife team who want to share our love for tabletop gaming with the world. Between the two of us, we have been playing RPGs for over 40 years, and we love telling stories. We're dedicated to creating gaming spaces that are safe, accessible, and welcoming to everyone. Find us online at conventions and at your friendly local game store. And now, let us begin. The world of darkness parallels ours in many ways. But when you hear that bump in the night or walk through that strange cold spot in your house, the chances of it being an actual ghost are not zero. While the mortal world is thankfully ignorant of what lurks in the darkness and clings to whatever religion gives them hope in an afterlife, many of the supernatural world knows what awaits some with unfinished business or strong emotional attachments that refuse to fade away. The land of the living, or the skin lands as the younger wraiths call it, is separated by the shadowlands by a barrier called the Shroud. In places where the shroud is thin, the two overlap and bits of the other seep through. A lonely county road at midnight hosts tales of the lady in white waiting for a ride, or the abandoned hotel that was the site of a brutal double homicide never gets renovated because the workers insist the place is haunted and refuse to pick up their tools. Step aside the shroud into the Shadowlands and the truth is revealed. Ghosts are real, and for all of these wraiths, it is a fate worse than death. Most never fully realize what they are, stuck in endless loops of torment only to just fade away into nothingness once those who remembered them in life finally forget them. Others, though, burn with bright passions and fester with darker torments and have a free will of their own. They fall into a life of sorts, but those hoping for a free pass in the afterlife will be sorely disappointed. The lingering dead all toil away under the watchful eye of Stygia, the first necropolis, and its council of death lords. Each wraith has its purpose in this empire of the dead, and tonight we're going to check in on a certain group. Vampires have their coteries and werewolves have their packs. Wraiths form groups called circles, and this one has been marked by the fates to play a pivotal role in the days to come. St. Louis is a city of history, and the Shadowlands are where memories go to die. Our circle has recently found itself a spot where the shroud is thin, and have latched onto it like moths to a flame. A haunt is a very useful resource after all, and this circle will protect what is theirs. Now, we start here checking in with our circle, starting with Shane. Shane, the day has come. What passes for the sun is a pale orange orb casting dull, sickly light through the windows. What is the first thing that crosses your mind today as you are settling in to this new haunt that you found?
Well, it's the same thing as every single time. Very first place I look is the spot that I know the shroud is the thinnest here. Just linger on that spot. Every day I have to fight the urge to just push at it.
And you hear faintly as you're standing in this spot voices from the other side. Honey, it's time to wake up. Yes, I'll get coffee started. Do you remember what coffee smells like?
All I can remember is the sensation, strong. Probably couldn't tell you specifically what it smells like anymore. I just remember the intensity of it.
Do you miss it?
I don't know. God, I don't know.
And what are your parting thoughts as you proceed about your day?
I just just look at it, and then just play with a coin from one of my friends upstairs. Just say, soon. Soon. And I head on.
Carolina. How long has it been since you came into this current life?
Well, that's the thing. I couldn't really tell you. Some days it seems like, do days even pass here? It seems like maybe it was a week ago when the accident happened, or maybe it was a year. It just seems like just yesterday I was getting up, getting on a plane all the way to Hollywood, where I'd be putting my two own palms right into concrete on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now I'm in here, wherever here is.
Do you still sing?
Of course I do. Keeps folks happy. It's what I'm best at. I can't name anyone better. Mama wouldn't lie after all. Just, it's different here. It's not for an audition or for church or the choir or anything like that. It's fill the space.
Now, you're starting to develop sort of a working relationship with the Emerald Legion here in St. Louis. And part of your responsibilities has been greeting newcomers, those who have been freshly removed from their calls and have managed to fall in with a Reaper who didn't want to immediately turn them into soul steel. Do you plan on making your rounds today?
Of course I do. Well, like I said, it's what I'm good at, and really, if anything, it's better than just sitting around this drabbled place all day or not, or God knows what goes on here.
And one last thought before we move on. What was your guitar's name?
My guitar's name. Oh, guitar. I thought you said guitar. I'm like, who is
Oh,
guitar? Like, guitar.
Your
That's what you
guitar. What was your guitar's name?
Her name was Christine. Mom always said you had to name something real nice, like, Trigger, or and like I know them other famous folks. Christine seemed like fitting. It was what my little doll's name was.
I'm going to make a note of that.
I'm scared.
Well, I mean, to a singer such as yourself, I mean, your instrument is how you tried making a living, that in your voice, and that guitar's was almost a part of you is your hat, your hair, your eyes.
It's so comforting to hear from you, storyteller.
Mm-hmm. Do you miss Christine?
Of course I do. I mean, it was with her that I went up, did the audition tapes, the old VHSs. I don't know if they've moved on from that, but I'm telling you, that's the future of technology right there. I put it in, sent it over to Hollywood, and I'm telling you, it was her strings, her blessings, all that history in that oak wood that got me up there, that got me in front of that director. I got her.
And now we'll move over to not quite your other half, more of your reflection, your brother, Jason.
Yep.
Good morning, Jason.
Is it morning?
For whatever passes. The sun doesn't really move. It just sort of lingers. That dull orange light. Everything just becomes a blur. Time moves different here on this side of the shroud anyway. Now, Jason, you were on that plane
Yeah.
with your sister. What were you doing there?
Worrying mostly. Well, it's
Why?
like don't really like flying necessarily, and somebody's got to keep an eye on Carolina. Really, is she tends to wander off and get into trouble by herself.
So you've always been the doting older brother.
Kind of.
Okay. Now, what are your thoughts of Carolina's recent fixation on the green teams?
Oh,
being part of the welcome wagon.
That's extremely worrying.
And what about it is worrying to you?
I don't know. Nobody in the Skinlands. There's few people that are really, really genuinely good. In here, it's even less.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's concerning.
You're worried she's going to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's definitely like, yeah, they seem to be on the upper echelon of not great people.
Mm-hmm.
Wraiths, whatever we're called, plasmoid things, I don't know.
Gotcha. So, having sort of fallen into the familial role here on this side of the shroud, as you did in life, if you could pass on any unfiltered advice to your sister right now, what would it be?
Well, Mom always said to try to keep your head out of the clouds. I don't even know if there are clouds here anymore. They're sort of here for the most part. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, somebody's got to keep an eye on her.
And one last thing before we check in on the last member of your circle. You hear, similar to how Shane did earlier, part of a conversation. And you haven't quite figured out who's who yet. You follow the dictum mortum, and you stay on your side of the veil, and you don't fuck around. But you know that this is sounds like a child's voice. Mom, I forgot to tell you about my science fair project. Science fairs this morning. Did that ever happen in your house?
Oh yeah.
Was it you or was it your sister?
Mostly it was me that entered the science fairs, tried to keep sort of the sciencey thing going, thinking that, you know, what if the music thing doesn't quite work out? Got to diversify the skill set, I guess. I don't know. I'm just hoping the little kid on the other side doesn't put Pluto as a planet, because that'd just be embarrassing.
And finally, DM. DM, you come to your senses. It's another day in the Shadowlands. And you were the one who had found this haunt in the first place. You like to wander, you like to roam, you like to poke places, sometimes where you don't belong. But you were the one who found this place. And you let the others know, and brought them here. What is this haunt to you right now? What does it mean to you personally?
Personally, it's potentially a place that I'm looking for in terms of getting answers. It's a breadcrumb. But so far, it hasn't really given me anything substantial, anything that I can really cling to and say definitively whether it is or isn't something from once upon a time ago. So it's likely that I will likely move on from here. I give it time, though. Continue to search and scour through, hoping to find something. I don't have much to go on, so I may have already found something and just not know it.
Understood. Now, when you were released from your call, were you here in St. Louis or were you someplace else?
I don't know.
But you came to your awareness here in St. Louis.
Yes.
And you've probably, we'll say you've probably been the most recent addition to this circle. You are somewhat of a flighty individual after all, and you don't tend to put down roots for too long. What about this circle has made you stick around as long as you have?
It feels like maybe they have similar motivations, like they're all searching for something or some sort of, even if it's just a meaning, or a purpose. They all seem to be searching for something to me, and I know what it is like to not know, not be able to find what it is that you are looking for, and to not know what the future holds, what anything really. And because of that, anytime I find someone who also seems to be searching, I want to help them. maybe they can help me along the way. But if not, at least there's one less person that's going through this place without answers. Like, at least there's one person that has some kind of closure, so to speak, or something along those lines, is essentially.
Understood. Now, you hear the conversations just like everyone else, but you oddly don't have the strong tugs of familial connection that, say, Jason and Carolina might have to growing up, in a married with kids household, or Shane for that matter, with Shane's particular interesting background. This haunt and this situation might play at some different heartstrings, so to speak. How does that make you feel, not having any sort of strong connection to this haunt?
Sad.
You
Slight
know
feelings of
that
hopelessness.
you know that you should feel something, and you don't. Would it be a pretty fair summation?
Yes.
So
Maybe a little jealous that they have something that I don't.
it's an interesting perspective on things. And one last thing before we proceed here. What is written on the back of your relic that you wear around your neck?
On the back, DM. It's the only connection that I have to anything. And I just sort of assumed that maybe it's who I am.
Now, the circle is going to come together. This is when you all take up residence in a haunt. It's similar to living in a dorm in college. You all have your separate rooms, but there's the communal areas, where everyone kind of works, gathers. Inside a haunt, things get really weird. Bits and pieces of what the building is on your side of the shroud kind of overlap with bits and pieces of what the building is over in the Skinlands. In the Skinlands, this is just a regular plain Jane house, 2-story brick facade front, nondescript. It matches all of the other houses in the neighborhood. But on your side of the shroud, you are all living in a dilapidated, crumbling brick building. The sign out front, if you were to approach it from the street, reads the Alexian Brothers Hospital. And you all have your own private, separate rooms here in the hospital. And have sort of set up a communal spot in one of the waiting rooms. Kind of more towards where the front of the building would have been. Now, to get there, you all walk through what was part of the hospital hallway to then jump down into what is a child's bedroom, to then phase back into your side. You can pass through in the physical world. You just have to shed a little bit of yourself to do so. Mechanically, if you want to interact with the physical world, you have to spend a point of corpus off of your sheet. I'm assuming everyone plays it safe gathering?
No.
Really? Do
Every
tell
chance
Shane.
every chance I get.
All right, describe to me your route and what you do that causes you to lose a point of corpus there.
Take a quick look. I think what I'd like to do is using one of my arcanoi
Okay.
of inhabit. I'm going to put my hand on the light switch that's in my room
Okay.
and turn it on. And I'd like to basically ride the electrical lines through the real world just for a I know right now if I step fully into it, I'm gonna be hard pressed to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to ride through just to feel the real world before I come out into the meeting room.
Okay. All right. So this is that's inhabit, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you're using the 2-dot ability ride the electron
Yes.
highway. All right. So go ahead and first official roll of the game. Now this here says roll intelligence plus your inhabit at a difficulty of 8.
Okay. I got 1.
1 success.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I would say you're feeling a bit out of sorts, maybe more so than usual. Maybe woke up on the wrong side of the bed, metaphorically speaking, and not quite feeling it. You do manage to zip a short way. Doesn't get you where you wanted to go, but the sensation is more of what you were looking for, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does it feel?
Alive.
All right. This art costs a pathos point to use, so go ahead and mark off a pathos from your sheet.
Do I also lose the corpus still?
No.
Okay.
In this case here, no. Since you're using one of your arcanoi there, that's okay.
Okay.
You do make your way to the waiting room. You are the first here, since you took the shortcut, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
I just kind of bask in it a little bit. I put the coin away before anybody shows up, though. I don't let other people know that I have it.
as you put the coin into your pocket, you think you hear just the faintest cry for help. But it fades away as it goes into your pocket. And I would say DM is probably next to join. DM, you enter the waiting room, and you do get a distinct hint of ozone to the air from Shane having used one of his arcanoi to get here.
She's just gonna kind of walk around and just kind of sniff the air a little bit, like just look at Shane. Do you smell that?
Residual.
Was it safe?
Comparatively.
What does Shane look like?
Shane has what I'd probably describe as a persistent look of shock on his face. Hard to tell if it's a layover from death or if it's just weighing down from the amount of time being here. If memory serves, though he doesn't know much about DM, he may have been here the longest of this group, but really what is time here? He's wearing a floral Hawaiian shirt that he was wearing on his last trip, and he has a scar from temple to chin. I did it backwards because cameras. Temple to chin across his face. It's just a bit opened still from, again, the last trip.
And how about DM? What does DM look like?
She essentially looks fairly normal-ish. She maybe has whereas like everyone else has may have something significant about them, like his scar, Hawaiian shirt, all of that tells a story of where they came from or what has happened. She doesn't really have that. The only thing that she has is the necklace that she wears, which is essentially half of a circle. And then she has that she keeps on her all the time is a photo strip with a picture on it, and she doesn't know anything else about that. She always has a look of confusion or curiosity. Not really sure if she's confused or if she's curious, but she's always very much so has that look on her face. So she typically she usually presents herself very slow, like she's taking in everything.
I just realized I forgot one key element of the description, and it's a piece of what looks like rebar that's just through his shoulder. It's about this long. He takes it out from time to time, but it just sort of lives there.
Now, the Deshays make their way down to the room. Carly's leading the way. Jason's bringing up the rear. As Jason giving her any sort of brotherly advice or any sort of brotherly admonishments as they are making their way down to the waiting room?
Constantly. Carly, do you really have to hang out, do the greeting thing with the...
Jason, it's not like being a Walmart greeter where I'm just checking around for shoplifters. It means something. What? Do you just want me to sit around here and do nothing? What, just
Preferably,
strum?
yes.
Look, I can do some good here, and better of all, I'm not bored. Maybe you're happy to sit around, but I want to do something with my whatever this is.
I don't know what it is either.
Look, I appreciate it and I understand where you're coming from, but I can take care of myself. Always have.
And that's when the Deshays enter the waiting room. What does Carly look like?
The best word I could describe it is obnoxiously commercially perfect. When you think of country girl, Carly is that. Curly blonde hair with brown highlights, a big old wide-brimmed white country hat, a buckle with her initials on it, short jean shorts, Daisy Dukes, a white top, and of course a good gold cross around her throat because she's a good Christian girl, but with just a little bit of that naughty appeal. Topped, of course, with those sparkling blue eyes and a pretty blue smile, no, and a pretty smile that went over any judge.
What's Jason look like?
Disheveled. Yeah, he's kind of like the parents were kind of there, but not there type of thing. Like he just tries to keep all of the siblings on the straight and narrow. He's wearing like kind of jeans, and he picked up this ridiculous shirt from like, I don't know, some place at the airport before we got on the plane. Now I'm stuck with it.
So Shane and DM, you hear the Deshay is having the conversation about Carly joining the green teams yet again. This is the same conversation that they seem to have had quite frequently here of late. Almost, it seems, since you all took up residence here in this haunt.
Kind of give DM a wry look to go, here we go again.
I don't understand why there needs to be this sort of discourse between them.
You never had any siblings, did you?
I don't know.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
what it's like.
Maybe not.
Yes, the three of you, having been, we'll say, recently become friends with DM here, you all have picked up on the fact that she knows absolute fuck all about her previous existence. And it is a source of some frustration.
Character note, has DM shown us the necklace and what it says, or is that just kept to yourself?
If anybody has bothered to make any mention of her name being odd or anything like that, she would have. She would have been like, it's all that I have, and shown the necklace.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Yeah.
Almost.
Hey.
Oh, my stars. I'm so sorry that you heard all that, Jason, bless his heart. And I give a very pointed look towards Jason as I say that in the typical Southern, bless your heart, I want to fucking stab you. He just wants to make sure that I'm safe. I'm so sorry. Y'all want anything? I know there ain't too many luxuries down here, but gotta make do. Southern hospitality and all.
Are you gonna order room service?
Well, I don't know, maybe find a book or I don't know, maybe something just to look at. Mr. Circuit Rider. I can still smell the electricity around.
Got me here quicker.
Fair.
Strange perspective for those who have nothing but time. But you all hear who you all presume to be the man of the house leave for work, and the mother takes Junior off to school, leaving the haunt to yourselves. Was there anything in particular that you all would want to do with this free time? You're not supposed to directly interfere with the mortals. Now that they're gone, you can do what you want.
You guys feel like looking around, or?
Actually,
Yes.
did you hear yesterday when they were playing that music in the other room? I want to see maybe if it's a radio and if they've got a news station. I want to hear about some stuff.
Well, we can take a look around. Yeah, we can take a look around.
Yeah, let's do that. They're gone. We're not going to scare the kid or anything.
We've already looked around like 1,000 times.
Yes, but there could be something new. Like we found that Hello Kitty shaving kit last time.
That's the benefit of the living world, is things can change over there.
I've shuffled around today, so there might be new things uncovered,
Maybe they painted.
things that had been put away before.
That's the spirit, DM. See, I always liked her. Brett and eager at it.
Spirit.
Oh.
Well, speaking of change, the only change that really comes on this side of the shroud is when memory fades. The hospital that you all are currently residing in was torn down, rebuilt as a hotel in another part of town. There are still those who remember what the hospital looked like, and thanks to the internet, there are pictures still to this day. So the hospital's probably going to be around for quite a while. One of the few changes that can come to the Shadowlands, though, is when a powerful storm called a maelstrom rises up out of the tempest that surrounds every necropolis. The tempest is a sea that destroys. It's entropy given form. There are pathways through the tempest to get from necropolis to necropolis. There are layers. Stygia technically is deep within the tempest. But when these maelstroms arrive, they can wipe necropoli from the Shadowlands completely. Buildings are reduced to nothingness. Those in the Skinlands may still have their memories, but there's nothing remaining for that energy to give form to. And Ezekiel, the Death Lord of St. Louis, is residing in his private study. His mask of office sitting on the desk in front of him. And one of your soldiers, one of your loyal, dedicated soldiers has come to you with 2 bits of information. Sire, news from Stygia. May I enter?
Of course, nothing else going on.
That may change, sir. And he hands you a scroll of paper made in Stygia. And you know where this paper comes from. You've seen the artificers turn the lost and forsaken drones into the stuff. And you hear the wails of the damned as you open this scroll. And written in broad scrolling script is a notice that a maelstrom is coming for your city.
I see. I reckon that's going to be a problem.
Yes, sir. The oracles have shown that you have roughly 2 days, sir.
Well, that's plenty of time, isn't it? I suppose I should get to work then.
Correct, sir. And the second bit of information, this is, sir, I believe that Charon is here in the city.
And what business do they have being here?
I don't know, sir.
Well, today is full of surprises.
Should I ring the summoning bell, sir?
I think that would be a good start.
The soldier turns, disappears down a hallway. He runs up a spiral staircase to a tower made out of black brick. This is soulstone from Stygia, just like the paper and everything else here, made from the souls of wraiths not lucky enough to escape a hostile reaper. But the guard sprints up the stairs and grabs an old, worn iron mallet and strikes a black iron bell. The circle hears closer to the center of the necropolis the dull ringing. Ezekiel, the city's death lord, has business for his subjects, and you all are expected to attend. And this is where we will take our break. So everyone go ahead, get up, hydrate, get a snack. We'll be back in 7 minutes. Catch you then.
Recording.
Welcome back, everyone, here to our Wraith story. So we left off here with our circle of wraiths, hearing the summoning bell. This bell is rang out whenever the Death Lord of St. Louis has business to discuss. Usually, these meetings are not for frivolous matters. Ezekiel has been a recent appointment. The previous Death Lord was summoned back to Stygia, and the system moved forward as it always does. For those of you playing at home, Stygia operates on a very Roman-esque theme. So there is a very, very strict, orderly way things are done here in the Empire. So the four of you, I'm assuming you are going to answer the summons?
Begrudgingly.
Yes.
Finally, some action around here.
Yeah,
Well,
we can walk around later, I guess.
And you make your way through the necropolis of St. Louis. A necropolis is a hodgepodge of architecture. Bits and pieces of memory washes up on the shores through the tempest. Bits and pieces of old buildings are replaced with newer, and then those are overlapped with newer as reconstruction occurs. Memory fades, memories are formed as things are made and as they decay in the Skinlands. Usually, the thicker the shroud, the older the architecture. Now, St. Louis has a bit of a history, as previously stated. Many of the most haunted sites in the United States are actually here in St. Louis. And one of them is actually the site of your local Death Lord's headquarters. The Lemp Mansion in St. Louis is one of the rare haunts in the city where the building is in the historical record and the structure remains unchanged. The unfortunate part of this relationship, however, is that when it comes to doing business, when the mortal world in the Skinlands is up and about, it can get kind of tricky to do what you need to do without getting walked through. A spark of outrage causes a book to fly across the room. Charon had placed a law upon the wraiths similar to the Vampire's Masquerade. It's the Dictum Mortum. Basically states that the wraiths are to not interfere in the mortal world. Of course, rules are made to be broken, and some wraithly powers explicitly are designed to mess with the mortal world, similar to Shane's ability to ride through electrical circuits. But the Lamp Mansion is a 2-story building. It's stark white, even under the dim haze of the orange sun. There's black trim for the windows. There's a short stairway to walk up into the main door. which, due to the nature of the veil here, you can actually pass through without having to expend corpus. You can walk through doors, walk through walls, until you get in, or you can walk through the outer walls of the building until you actually get inside, and then structure is made whole. You have to actually walk up the stairs. You would have to open doors. Ezekiel has set his agents, his soldiers, to make entry into the building easier for those who are not able to gain normal or to gain other supernatural access. Ezekiel has taken up residence in one of the rooms here in the manor, but wraiths needing to answer a summons such as this have to pass through a series of tunnels that were constructed between the manor and the old factory that the Lemps had used to build their brewery empire. And it is in this factory that Ezekiel holds court. Ezekiel stands here in this room. Atop a pyramid of old wooden beer kegs. He's wearing a Union cavalry soldier's uniform with the old Union flag wrapped around his neck. His left arm, unfortunately, was broken in a fall, and he manages to hide this death mark very well. He does most of his gesticulating with his right. His left arm, unfortunately, he has to put effort into actually using. But covering his face is his mask of office. Everyone who does business with the Death Lord is doing business with the Death Lord, not the person behind the mask. And this was to help foster respect for the office. Unfortunately, Shane, you know, compared to the previous Death Lord, Ezekiel has made some rather unpopular decisions as of late. You kind of get the impression that it might be just new chair jitters, but you're not in his court, you don't know. Now, other wraiths have made their way here, and you see them all gathered about. Now, I cannot remember, Carolina and Jason, you died in a separate plane accident from Shane, correct? Mm-hmm.
Like decades later.
Yeah.
Decades.
Mm. St. Louis has been the site of several horrific plane accidents, and you see many bearing marks from those accidents gathered in the crowd. The Emerald Legion takes in those who have suffered these accidents, and you are all nominally part of the Emerald Legion, even you, DM. You don't know why, but even you are part of the Emerald Legion. Now, Ezekiel, you do have troubling news to share with your subjects. And you see them all from your vantage point. Is it strange to you being in charge like this?
Yeah, a little bit.
Are
I
you
don't
more
not like it, but I understand the position that I'm in.
Now, do you were a soldier in life. You weren't the man giving the orders. You were the one taking them. You did rise up through the ranks as a soldier in the
As
Grim
far
Legion.
as one can.
Mm-hmm. But the Grim Legion takes in those who are murdered. And for a member of the Grim Legion to be a Death Lord is kind of an oddity. But you earned your place, didn't you?
Sure did. I'm all for new things.
Now, as far as the newness goes, this maelstrom coming your way. This isn't the first one you've seen, is it?
It's not even the third one I've seen.
You're old. Even for a wraith, you are old. And that alone should bear some respect. Now, you've had some time to ponder how you were going to break the news to your subjects. Now is the time. Take her away.
I wish I could have called you here under happier news. However, I'm sure you've all heard the rumblings. There's a storm of brewing. Another maelstrom is coming our way, to our city. I'm not going to ask you to do anything you wouldn't already do to preserve yourselves, but we're really going to need all hands on deck here if we want our city to survive.
There are some mumblings in the crowd. And in fact, as your words start to sink in, an actual maelstrom coming here to St. Louis. The panic is almost immediate.
Now I understand that most of you, I could do a show of hands thing. Most of you haven't experienced a maelstrom before, but I'll have you know that I've seen my way through quite a few. It is survivable. There is no reason to panic. However, I do expect everyone to fall in line and help us weather this storm. So if you're not going to help us, you can step out now.
And there actually are a few that as soon as those words leave your lips, start to filter out. Most of the newer wraiths, you know every wraith in this necropolis. You may not know their stories. You may not know their histories, why they are here, why they continue to linger, but you know faces. You know that you've lost 5 of the newcomers. And you do know that there are a few that have at least seen one maelstrom before, Shane being one of them.
And actually, at that, just kind of awkwardly raising his hand.
Shane, was it?
Yeah. Just to clarify, are we? I'm assuming since you gathered everybody here, this isn't just any maelstrom. This is another big one.
Yeah, that's why I figured I'd call everyone here today.
Do you know what's kicked it off?
Honestly, I just found out the same as you, maybe a few moments before. I guess this is the process of getting what we can together. As I've been told that we have 2 days.
Oh, Lord have mercy. 2
2.
days.
2, okay. Whew. We're all just to batten down the hatches and ride it out, or?
That's the plan, but I'm open to suggestions if you have any.
Now, part of a city's defense for a maelstrom is indeed battening down the hatches, gathering what materials you can to shore up what haunts you can, make them safe. A maelstrom is a storm of pain and torment and misery. Stinging sand scours away the corpus from your form, leaving you literal dust in the wind, to join the rest of the screaming, agonized wraiths caught up in the mess. Unfortunately, a maelstrom brings something else with it. A wraith has a passenger with them, similar to a kindred's beast. This is called the Shadow. And while the psyche represents the more positive aspects, passions of what keeps you here, your shadow reflects the negative emotions that keeps you from passing on. This is the unfinished business that leads to obsession. This may be sorrow from loved ones you left behind, leading to anger. They got to stay behind. You're stuck here. You have to watch them go about their lives. And when the shadow takes over, it chips away at the psyche bit by bit. And eventually, if the shadow wins, the wraith becomes a specter, a mindless force of oblivion. Yes, this is the same oblivion that the Lasombra call upon. A specter's sole purpose in its existence is to devour, destroy, ruin. And a city may deal with the odd specter incursion or the odd storm that arises from the tempest. But a full-blown maelstrom is a Category 5 hurricane in the Skinlands, turned up to 11. And it brings things with it that want to see you dead. So part of defending the city means also defending your fellow wraiths from these specters. So bear that in mind. Now, has Jason or Carolina, Carly, have either of you seen a maelstrom yet?
Would Shane have mentioned it? to either of them.
Probably. Also, like you two definitely haven't seen a great maelstrom, but you may have seen smaller ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much information I would have given on it, but probably enough if you asked, like, hey, what is that?
Right. So definitely in crisis, let's plan this. Hopefully let's keep the panicky animal that is people from causing a scene.
What can we do to help? What's different from the smaller ones we've experienced?
Well, it's a lot bigger, it sounds like. Really, you saw folks just walk out there. You don't just walk away from a place like this where we are.
Let me put it this way. I don't know what was going on up there that caused the most recent one, but the one before that was World War II.
Oh, Christ almighty.
So big deals.
And we bring a lot of that bad juju in with it, seems. Well, and Carolina turns to face Ezekiel. I could maybe rally up some of the green teams. We could keep up morale. I know it's not much, but really, if we can just keep people, if we can keep spirits and moods high, it could help lend itself towards protection, both physical and mental.
See, that's the right attitude. That's what I like to hear. Carolina, was it?
Yes, sir. Carolina Deshay. It's an honor.
And Ezekiel, now that you've seen Shane and Carolina together, you know that this was the circle that you're looking for.
Oh, so
you have business with them later after this.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose I'll wrap up this Storm's Coming meeting, and I'll signal to Shane that I'd like to speak with him in his circle somewhere else.
And yeah, just a bit like confusion at first, and then just to the group go, I think we have to hang around for a bit.
That's a good thing. We're moving up.
Aren't we supposed to be batting down something?
I think Ezekiel has specific hatches for us to batten down.
See, look at that means we're important. We're good at what we're doing. Don't look so down, Shane.
Well, sometimes important means obvious and
noticeable.
And he wouldn't want to be.
It also means long term.
Oh,
what is long term at this point, right?
Right, exactly. Come on, chin up, DM. By the way, isn't that French?
I don't know. It's
oh right. Oh, bless your heart, darling.
It was written.
Isn't it?
It's on the back of this.
Isn't it Latin?
Well, you are always better at school than I was.
No, I
Jason.
just assumed Latin. It was my name, so it's the only thing that I have to go on. So, DM.
Damn, bless your heart. I shouldn't have asked Sugar, but come on, we should get a move on. Come on, chins up.
So, Ezekiel, you hop down off of your impromptu pedestal of kegs, and you dole out orders to your lieutenants. Each of the legions has their own responsibilities during times of crisis like this, and you kind of have all of them queued up, just ready to receive their orders, and you follow protocol. You tell them, oh, go here, do this, go there, do that, talk with them. You know what you're doing. You have a plan, and it's up to them to carry it out. But you do lead this circle back through the tunnels, back to your study. And Ezekiel, you have the opportunity to collect things over the years. What are some of the decorations that you've collected? Some of the artifacts and relics, maybe, that have been cast off from the Skinlands?
Mostly the kind of stuff you'd find at like a road stop on the highway. Just random knickknacks and doodads, oddities, things that would be novel to me. Been around for a long time, so if I see I don't know, a fist-sized ball of rubber bands, it's very interesting.
And the funny thing about these relics is each one of these has a story. There's still some sort of connection in the Skinlands that keeps them here. And things from your collection do fade away over time, and you just add more. There is a fireplace that it has been bricked off, but there is a wraithly fire burning, and over the fireplace is your old saber that did manage to make its way across with you. You did have that with you in your hospital bed when you died. But that saber, you've had to kill plenty of wraiths to get to where you are. You've also had to put down more than your fair share of specters defending Stygia. What's maybe one of the more intense battles that you fought with that saber recently?
Well, I imagine the one that I fought to get this position.
And that was a messy affair. There are those who do not want to follow Stygia's orders. There are those called renegades. You have a particular penchant for making sure that they're no longer a problem.
I've dealt with a rebel or two in life and death.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Union will stand even in the afterlife. Now, you sit at your desk, and now the important work is at hand. Why did you bring them here? Go ahead, take her away.
Oh, why the long faces? It's like somebody just told you the world was ending in 2 days, specifically.
Well, there it is.
No, but this is old sorrow. This isn't new panic. The new panickers, they all ran. You guys look like you died at a funeral. Except you, Carolina. You're lovely.
Oh, shucks.
You wanted to speak to us?
I do. Straight to the point. Shane, you've been through a maelstrom of sorts, haven't you?
One the size that you're saying, yeah, but just the one.
Just the one. So you know they're survivable. There's a light on the other side of this tunnel, as it were.
So to speak.
What I'm more interested in is I have soldiers, I have soul steel, but what I need are eyes, because I'm noticing a trend. Something strange is brewing. Are any of you familiar with Kara?
You mean like the Charon?
Yeah, the Charon.
Yeah.
It's as rare as it is for a maelstrom to come to your city. It's even rarer that the Charon might pay a visit.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Wait, isn't he not around anymore?
He's in town?
He's in town. And I just found out along with the
Why?
maelstrom. I wish I could tell you. Miss DM, correct?
DM. Yes.
Like Carpe Diem, Latin. It's a good name.
Maybe.
So we have possibly a 7th great maelstrom.
Mm-hmm.
Charon's in town. And are we supposed to look into why he's here or what's causing this, or?
That's what you should be smiling about. You guys have the chance to make metaphorical history.
Why?
How?
Because these are shocking times, aren't they? And in hard, difficult times, special people, special wraiths rise to the occasion. And that's what I'm looking for you guys to do.
You're looking for that X factor.
The X Factor, that's a beautiful term.
Well, I can assure you, Mr. Ezekiel, I've got it. I'll talk to this Charon even if I need to.
Great. I wish I had 10 of her.
Carly, we basically, I guess, already passed the audition. We don't need.
But you know what? You know what Mama said? Life is an audition that never stops. Life's a show. You want your silhouette to be remembered, not left in the dust. And if it means we got to talk to some big scary gentleman in a cloak and run through a storm, then I think we can do it. We've got a lot of brains, brawn, and we got you.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but we're a lot.
I love you, sis, but we've already passed the audition. We're already there.
I think as big and imposing as this is, I think this is probably something that we can handle.
I know it's something you can handle. That's why I called you. If I didn't think you could, I would have called someone else.
Do we need to talk to this person before or after?
It's probably a matter of when we find him.
I'd
Do
like
we
for you
know-
to find him.
Do we know where, like, what section of the city, or like where he could, where to start looking? Really,
There's old stomping grounds, but
And I got my crew with the greeting groups. Plus, I got, as they say, friends on the other side.
you can
I wish I had more information to tell you, but and I also wish I could say you have nothing but time. But I do believe in you all's ability to carry out this task. That is, as long as you're willing to take the job.
I think we can.
It's an option.
Well, of course, it's an option. I understand. Usually when you're dealing with someone in my position, you feel like it's a master-slave position. It's not like that.
You're like an agent.
Sure. I'm here to make sure that you get jobs so that you can shine.
I guess we could do it. I don't know. What does everybody else think?
I think we can make it work. Yeah, I think we can talk about
Maybe-
it a bit more, but I think we can make it work.
Maybe if we're going to a part of the city that I haven't been to before,
We definitely will be.
Hey, you got us, and like I said, we'll have plenty of eyes around the city.
If you'd like to discuss it a little bit before you take the job, I understand that I might be a bit intimidating to speak in front of. So I lend you my office. I'll be right outside. Just let me know when you're done.
Sure.
Mighty obliged.
And I'll take a step out.
I'm immediately sort of looking around the office because I don't fully believe that Ezekiel can't hear what we say. I don't know if there's any kind of role for it. I'm not really looking to make one. I'm just immediately suspicious of that.
You can assume that if Ezekiel says that you have privacy, you have privacy.
Well, yeah, still the suspicion, but I will abide by what he said and just sort of look over to the group. It's dangerous, but I think we can make it work.
Of course we can, Lightning Rider. What other choice do we have? To sit up there and cower and cry in fear and add to whatever that maelstrom's bringing on us?
Well, that's sort of also why I think we can make it work. Maelstroms are they bring a bit more than just the scary and the sad and whatnot. Like, maelstroms are they're made of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
Well, no, it's made of more than just like, you know, the ghostly raves and the emotions. Like, things come with it, materials, relics, like stuff that carries over from whatever's happening up there down to here. There's a lot in there that could be useful.
So it's like a tornado.
It's a lot.
It's like a hurricane or a tornado, but you know, if
Shane,
you follow behind it.
Were you a car dealer in your past life? Car salesman?
No.
Because you've got an eye for profit. You're looking at this maelstrom, you're seeing dollar signs, it sounds like.
You have to get through the scary part first.
Yeah, you have to tail it, but also if we know what's coming on it, then we might know where to be, what to avoid. What maybe we can figure out what's causing it, and that can give us an idea of what might be coming back down.
Greater the risk and all that.
Yeah. And if Karen's involved, then we can always get better insight into things.
I think whatever new ones remain might be our best source here.
If he's involved, does it stand to reason that he may know what caused it, so therefore knows what could be coming with it?
I mean, if anybody knows what's coming or caused it, it would be him.
I don't think that he would just be here if it wasn't something of significance.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been away for a bit. He came back and went away again. So yeah, I mean, I'd say probably.
Just have to get through the scary part.
Yeah.
Now, Charon is the first ferryman. They are those wraiths who have powers and abilities that let them navigate the Tempest. It was Charon who found Stygia in the Shadowlands. And he was the one who built Stygia. Bit by bit, brick by brick, soul by soul. And Stygia both loves and hates Charon because he keeps a level playing field in his kingdom. He also, as Shane mentioned, tends to disappear for long stretches of time. He has business in the Tempest, is what he tells his subjects, and then he goes. Or he just disappears, comes back, and said, I had business in the Tempest. Now, Charon being here in the city does pose several interesting lines of thought. One moment here, I need to reply to something in Zoom chat. Now I lost my train of thought. Hold on a moment. Now, okay. So yeah,
Sorry.
Charon, yep, you're fine. No, Charon being present in the city does pose several lines of thought here. He could have special business with this maelstrom. He could be here to see to the city's defense. And if so, what does that speak of his thought on Ezekiel's leadership abilities? Also, him being present could be a sign that there may be problems in Stygia. Ezekiel may or may not know of any goings on, but Charon here, there's a reason why Ezekiel didn't make this public information. It would be, the maelstrom is already devastating news to the city. Charon being here would be like pouring fire or pouring gasoline onto a fire. So with those insights here, were there any other trains of thought that we wanted to pursue with this among the circle before Ezekiel comes back?
I think DM's going to kind of turn away from like everybody and kind of go and to like I guess a corner or like where her back is kind of against a wall, and then she's going to pull out the compact.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just going to say, "What do you know?"
One moment. Just a second here. I have notes.
Oh dear.
See, now this is how it feels. I'm just like, oh no, you have things planned.
All right, so what DM is doing here is she is speaking to her shadow through her compact. Now, who is DM Shadow? Or rather, who is playing DM Shadow? I believe that is actually...
That is me.
Yes, that is you,
Yep.
Steve. So, Steve, I'm going to feed you a quick note.
Ooh, notes.
Yeah, notes, exactly. I'm prepared.
I like notes. So I'm assuming it takes a couple of seconds, and then does the wraith, does the shadow look like DM? Okay, so eventually, like you see kind of haze around the mirror, and you see them go. The maelstrom is not of the Skinlands. Stygia is falling.
Why?
You do not know.
That is unknown.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of go back, like, and look at everybody and just. This one's different than the last one.
What do you mean?
Like a different Charon or whatever his name is.
Not only one
No,
of them.
the maelstrom's different.
How so?
It's not from the Skinlands. It's not from that world. It's worse, I think.
Well, yeah, they said it was like a great one, or like
No,
the World War.
I mean
whatever.
it's worse than that. It's Stygia is falling. That's the problem. That's what's causing it.
I mean, there's been more maelstroms than before on the back of the last great one, but the big ones always are connected to what happens up there.
Not this one, it seems. Go on, DM.
That's all I know. It's not connected. It's different. It's worse.
If that's the case, then we definitely do need to find Charon.
Maybe he knows. Maybe he can stop it. Maybe that's why he's here, but
Maybe he can help protect St. Louis, I guess.
He built so much.
I think he's here maybe for answers himself, because they don't know why it's happening, like why Stygia is falling. It's just.
Or maybe there's something
It
here
is.
that we can use to help him. Or whatever. I don't know.
well, we're not gonna find out till we get our noses to the ground. Question is though, and I want to ask all y'all, do we tell Ezekiel about this particular little detail? I'll leave it up to you, DM, but I think it's important that all of us weigh in. I feel like he has a right to know. He's been honest with us and open, and it is his city. He could probably help with some preventions and whatnot to keep folks safe. Or is this a matter he shouldn't know? Maybe it'll keep things calm.
He's gonna ask how I know.
We all
Right.
kind of are asking how you know.
Yeah, actually, how do you know, DM? So I know you get that lost look in your eyes sometimes, but how?
This is how I know. I found it the last maelstrom, the big one that I don't know how or why it does the thing, but I can talk to myself, but not myself. The other myself.
Oh,
And they know?
they're usually not very helpful.
They usually know about stuff like that in terms of what could be coming with it or how it started, and she said she didn't know that why Stygia was falling, just that it was falling, and that the maelstrom wasn't normal. It wasn't from the Skinlands. That's all that she knew, I think.
Well, as unhelpful as
I'm
that
not
lot
really
can
great
be.
at questioning.
Go ahead, sorry. Well, as unhelpful as
That's
that particular lot can be, I mean, she's on the ground reporting. They're out there. We're here. So no reason for it to lie, especially now.
As far as telling Ezekiel, it could be that he already knows and he's not sharing that bit for obvious reasons. Either way, the same preparations are going to have to happen. So I guess it depends on, do you want to throw more wood on this?
Maybe we should keep it close to our chests. We're already going to have one hell of a time keeping folks calm. And with just the green groups, we're prepped for welcoming folks, not keeping people down through a panic.
Yeah, we should probably keep it to ourselves.
Oh, y'all pinky promise?
I mean, I said, yeah, but
No, well, it's different. Well, I don't know if we can cut fingers off here, but it makes more sense that way. It feels material. Keep it all between us.
okay. Just sort of touch pinky to Carly's pinky.
Do the group pinky promise.
Okay, I don't want to lose.
It's okay. We're not gonna bite it
mirror.
off or anything. It's fine.
No, we're not gonna
No,
bite it off.
I-
It's just the idea of it.
I don't
Yeah.
want to lose my mirror.
And it's when you link your pinkies is when Ezekiel knocks on the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
All finished in there.
Occupado.
I think so.
Yeah, we're decent.
And Ezekiel
then I'll
opens the door.
make my way back in.
Yeah, I think we can head out and see if we can find Karen to see what he might have to do with all of this.
And I appreciate all of you for that. And I understand that you're taking a risk, just as I'm taking a risk sending you. So I want you to understand that we're all on level ground here.
You got word that he's here, but no idea whatsoever where he might be.
Not where he might be, why he's here. I assume you've heard the same things I have. My decisions have been questioned, and maybe Stygia's got a problem with it, but
Hmm.
I didn't know they had a send Charon's problems with it.
I know that he liked the sunless sea, but that's a bit of a ways out.
We should probably go.
Right. We don't. Time's a ticking, and we don't have all day. It's like Dolly said, gotta get up and stretch a good source to laugh as much as he can here, but we got jobs to do.
Well, then I won't hold you.
Okay.
Thank you for your trust, Mr. Ezekiel.
And so the circle, I think it would be safe to assume you would all go back to your haunt to talk more privately. And as you're walking down the hall, leaving Ezekiel in his office, you are barged through by one of Ezekiel's soldiers. He's wearing the uniform of one of the Grim Legion, and he's got a scroll in his hand. And he just budges you all out of the way, pays you all no never mind. And you hear before the door closes, "Sire, news from Stygia." And you all are then pointedly ushered out by soldiers, leaving you on the street in front of the manor.
All right. Don't have to be pushy.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna probably guess that he knows what we know at this point.
maybe. I don't know.
Now, you do all make your way back to the haunt. You see the panic that started in the factory has spread throughout the rest of the necropolis. Wraiths are literally tearing up whatever they can and hurriedly taking them back to their haunts. You know that there's it's called locally the Street of Artificers, and this is where Ezekiel's soldiers get their arms and armament from. They've all shuttered. And when you get back to your haunt, you notice that the wind is definitely picking up. There is there is an actual breeze now, I should say. Stygia is calm and still usually. Or I mean, the Shadowlands are usually calm and still. But yes, a slight breeze maybe blows a little bit of Carly's hair. Is there any last discussions that we want to have here before we end for the night?
Sort of play with the coin in my pocket a bit away from the group, and then just sort of hands down, like still not showing it, just go, if he's back, then the only thing I could think would be to head to the coast, because I mean, he was a ferryman first and foremost, so River of Death, right?
Yeah, pay our tolls and whatnot. And
Well,
almost
that
have
doesn't
fun.
work that way, but yeah.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You should.
Yep.
Oh man, I think with that grim declaration, almost absent-mindedly, Carolina's just going to start humming on Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, her and her brother's favorite song, and technically activate Ballad.
Okay. One last Arcana use here for the night.
Superpowers.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so this is
Manipulation and keening.
yes.
So that's 3. Oh my god, this section will be bigger. This is 8 dice. This is
Noise.
I
So
went
we-
all in.
Is there
I'm
a
gonna-
singing specialty she can throw on that too, or
No, unfortunately.
No.
So this is
just
difficulty
trying to help
8.
you out, sis?
well. Actually, if we want to get into this mechanic right now, we can. Whoever is playing Carly's shadow can offer up some extra dice if they want.
Do we talk to her first?
Yeah.
Right.
You can do what you need to do to see if you can tempt her into picking up some extra dice here.
I'm getting, devil's deals. Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious.
Well, this is just a grim group, isn't it?
Pardon?
Look at them all. Sorrowful and long faces.
Yeah, it's a real sad scene.
What exactly are you doing here, then? Doesn't quite seem like your stage. Your entourage. You're the South, I hope you want not.
They need my help. I can't just leave them here.
Well, if they're gonna need your help, you're gonna have to lift their spirits a bit.
And I'm guessing you want to help, don't you?
Hey, you came to me, remember?
Oh, Dad. I'm not doing it just for the attention.
No, of course not. Of course not. You've got some strange and troubling times ahead, and you can need all the help you can get.
You're right. All right. What's your deal, old friend?
Just just do what you do best, and I will manage. Same as always.
Of course, sir. Lead me astray, or rather, wherever you wish.
Atta girl. We'll get there when we get there.
Yes, sir.
Now, Zach, as Carly's shadow guide, you may spend temporary angst at the point of 1 temporary angst per 1 bonus die. How many of those do you want to spend?
Just 1.
Okay. So, Carly, you can go ahead and add 1 die to your pool.
Well, ain't that just dandy? All right, that's 9 dice. Difficulty is 8.
Yep.
All right, here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes total. No ones.
Ooh. All right, you said you're using ballad.
Yes.
Okay. The Wraith may inspire the higher emotions. So you did your roll. Number of successes indicates the depth of feeling and its duration. All right. So now wraiths are less easily cajoled. The number of successes equals the number of turns the emotion lasts. All right, so this costs 1 pathos. And what emotion are you trying to elicit?
Well, just like the patron Saint Miss Parton said, you gotta yawn and stretch and bring yourself to life. Just a lot of virality. Let's bring some laugh into these old bones. I think as I'm just doing it, and the shadow kind of just leeches itself from me. I'm snapping. I go from humming, actively saying, 925.
And those hearing your song do feel a little brighter for what brief moments they can hear. And with that, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up tonight's session. Yay! We did our first session of Wraith. Raise your hands if this is your first time playing Wraith. Yay! Look at that.
First time playing, running Wraith, everything.
Mm-hmm. I've been wanting to dig into this game for years, literal years. And I actually broke out. I have the OG 2nd edition hardcover print.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the soft cover 1st edition print that's been sitting on my shelf for nearly 20 years.
It's been 84
Interactive, Wraith
years.
Interactive 5th edition soon. Please. So we'll go ahead and we'll say goodnight here. And as customary on the channel, I'll let everyone do their little outros. And I'm just going to go in random order. So we're going to go ahead and start with, let's do...
Guest first.
Yeah, guest first. Yeah, why not? What do you got going on there, Brennan?
Nothing. I'm Brennan. I was Ezekiel. I don't know. You know where to find me.
Mm-hmm.
That's his tradition.
Yes. Next up, let's do Zach.
Hi, I am Zach Rivato. As always, that's my Twitter handle, and there's probably links over that way. ATL by Night is airing On occasion, we got a totally different cast. I'm Lore Keeper over there, just keeping track of everything. Tune in. It's getting really weird and interesting, as always. That's on Tuesdays on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/. You can still search it by ATL by Night, but it's now under the Facility Productions. Also, this is airing in March, which I'm pretty sure it is. In March, starting a game over on the Hype Goblin. I'll be playing in a D&D game, almost entirely homebrewed. Nothing super original there, called Luck and Chaos. So I'd say follow Sarah the Hype Goblin on Twitter to get more information about that. And apart from that, that's pretty much all I've got going on. I'm normally wherever tabletop games are played.
And Sam.
Hey everyone, I'm Samantha McClarty. I have been DM this evening. I fucking don't know what I'm doing right now. Not gonna lie. I have no idea. There is stuff that we are wrapping up on that we are doing epilogues for. There is final episodes of games being done at some point. I really don't know, but as far as anything new goes, this is it at the moment. I don't have anything else coming up that I know of currently, I think. I'm really bad at this, guys. You all know this by now, so either way, follow the socials to know what the hell I'm doing. Just go there, do the thing. You'll see.
Yeah.
That's it. Next.
Next up is Abby. Hey.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, yeah, hi, it's me, Abby, your local Indigenous nerd. You can catch me on the Bird and Bee website at Enough of Abby. The links are here. But if you want to see me doing any more goofery shenanigery, if this is coming out in March, I will also be in, oh God, I almost forgot the name. Look at I'm running over my words. Shenaniganery. I'm also going to be in Roll for Luck and not Roll for Luck. Oh my God, I'm forgetting my words. I'm also going to be in the game that Zach mentioned. Please just go back and listen to him.
Luck and Chaos.
Luck and Chaos. That's it. Look, there's a lot. I'm doing a lot. In addition, I'm going to be playing other little games. Catch an eye on those. Right now, I have Sniper strained on me. I can't talk about it right now, but keep an eye out. It's also 11 o'clock for me, so if my words seem weird, be nice. I'm sleepy. I'm a sleepy little guy.
All right, and to round out the cast here is Steve. This is your channel. Take her away, sir.
That's this guy. You're already on Vancouver by Night, so whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're watching it on Twitch, you're here already. So yeah, I don't really have to pitch all that much. We are working on a bunch of stuff in the background since this is March. Our D&D game, our Sunday D&D game, Phandalin by Night, has come back. So stay tuned tomorrow, I guess. I think this is going to be on Saturdays. I don't even know yet. And we are working on some other stuff that may be happening in the background as well. There's new vampire stuff coming. There's new D&D stuff coming. There's new other games that are coming. I don't know what those games are yet, but they're coming. Yeah, so go to our merch shop, buy stuff like this. I don't know, we'll try to find some Wraithly stuff to do on the merch store, I guess. But yeah, over to Patrick.
Hi, Patrick Gill, creative director over at Martlet Games. As far as what we have going on over at the channel, Sam pretty much summed it up. There's a whole just weird nebulous mess of things we've got in production. We are currently wrapping London's Bleeding. We have the finale recorded. We have one of several epilogues recorded. Real life gets in the way of everything, and yeah, that will be coming out, promise. Ditto for Death Pack 2, Death to the Undead, which you will be able to see Sam and Zach in as well. We have part 1 recorded. Part 2 is supposed to be recorded in a few weeks from this recording, so that should be soon-ish. We've got Bloody Awful Business, a guide to the circulatory system in the Storyteller's Vault. Definitely check it out. working on more Storytellers Vault content, as well as some other stuff that we're working. Anyways, love you all. Have a good night. Take your away, Steve.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
I forgot to pitch something.
Yes.
We actually, since you see the adjacent people here, we have something coming out soon for the Storytellers Vault, if it has not come out already. So you will be able to pick up some sheets, some lore sheets for the Vancouver Adjacent by Night cast, including most of these people. We'll get one for Abby on there when we, I don't know, we'll circle back around to Adjacent by Night at some point, probably. But yeah, go pick that
Maybe.
up
Hopefully.
for the low price of
little guy.
yeah. For the low price of, I have no idea what the price is going to be on it, but it's going to be cheap. I can guarantee that. So